obviously new coaching additions from the spring and from the summer. What do you think that brings to your program for you, and then also for Molly and Rade? They can answer after you two.
I mean,
From
for
a head
us,
coaching perspective.
for me, it's been a great opportunity to learn from two different people who have some similarities in terms of coaching style, but also differences. And I think I'm somebody who I feel like wants to learn every day, and that I don't always have the answer, and I want to continue to grow. And so having two soccer minds and different personalities, different ways to look at the game, I think that's been almost like an audit for our program and for me in general, and it's been very exciting overall.
Yeah, I would say that we're probably all kind of wired that way, where we really like to learn a lot. And for me, it's been a great experience to work with two people who know a lot about the game and are really driven and want to be very good at this level. So it's been a great experience for me. And I think in terms of the girls, it's been a good change. I think that change is always, it can be good. And I think that our girls have embraced the change in the staff. And I think that they've grown a lot over the past couple months. And so I think it's been a fun experience so far.
Yeah, I mean, Coach Dave and Coach Molly pretty much said same thing. I mean, just like I think for us, growing and learning is as much as we ask our kids to grow and learn. I think it's important for us as staff to learn and grow and get better and just open up our views and understand. Hey, there's more ways to do things than just the one way. And for me personally, like I just love the way that these two interact with the kids, and I need to grow in that area and just be better and just learning how to approach and talk and get some answers. And I think that has been the biggest piece for me. Just learning from Coach Molly as far as that female to female kind of relationship, and from the Coach Dave who has been in the game for such a long time, and it just has been great experience so far.
And when we talked on Sunday after your game, you talked about something interesting, which was that you saw wasn't just maybe not the best performance from your team, but it was also from a coaching perspective that you didn't feel like you prepared them. Can you explain what you mean by that?
Well, I think it's just exactly what we just said. Is I think that when things go right, everyone wants to celebrate, why they went right, but and you have a tendency, those who are very competitive and driven, and when things don't go as planned, you want to look internally and what could I have done better for our program? How could I have helped our kids better? And I think there can be a tendency to point fingers, and it's everybody else's fault, but it starts from the top and really goes all the way down in that regard. And how could we have done better for each other? And I think that comes all the way back to what we talked about. We trying to serve one another and be there for each other and do the best for each individual person in this program. And so wins don't all wins kind of masks things at times too. And so I think, as Molly said, we're all very wired to look internally, be very analytical, and try to improve every day, no matter what it is, wins or losses. It just seems to be a little bit more evident at times when you lose. But I think we're wired that we challenge each other every day to try to improve as people and be better for our players and our student athletes and ourselves.
I know you can cut this.
Nailed it.
That was pretty good. Yeah. What do you attribute for your success this season? I mean, with the exception of that 2-game weekend, for the most part of the 2-game weekends, you've been performing very well. As you said, in contrast to last season, where you felt like maybe you were prepared for a Friday game, not the Sunday game. What do you think has changed over the past year?
I mean, for me, it's not even about the weekend. It's about just the everyday process. I think the approach that we take and we ask of each other and our team to just get better every day. I'm not a big end result kind of person. I've never been. I'm more about the process and the commitment every day to get better and to analyze whether we've even got better on that day and why not. So for me, it's not even about Sunday's game against Loyola. It's about did we do a good enough job on Tuesday, and did we get better on Wednesday, and then both on and off the field. So I think this group has been very bought in with regards to that. I think there's a litany of reasons. I think, the attention to detail on how to improve and how to get better, and whether it be, through scouting reports or how you prepare and when you come to practice, and are you ready to go, and, your focus in that regard. And so I think both of Molly and Roddy have been fantastic in that regard. And I think that's, to be honest, one of their, high level, talents is to be attention to detail and what's needed to be successful. And I think sometimes when you don't focus on that every day, it can really slip very quickly. And as I mentioned before, it was a great audit to the program as to what's needed to be successful. And so it's more about the journey and the process than it is the end result. That game against Loyola or Montana or Notre Dame, those are just celebrations of, what we put in for the week.
Yeah, I mean, I would definitely agree with Coach Dave, and just what I really liked about, when I took a job here at University of Iowa, like I spoke about how much I appreciated Coach Dave's just mindset of growth and development, just not as a players, but as a people as well, on and off the field, academics, and so on and so forth. And since I've been here in the spring, there has been tremendous growth that we have seen on and off the field. And we lost the game. Yeah, absolutely. We lost 3-0. But what's now? What's next? We can sit here and point fingers and talk about this, talk about that, talk about this player, that player. No. Let's just take a break here for a moment. Start from the beginning. What we could have done better as a coaches, what we could have done better as a staff, and then go on and into some more detailed and individual moments. But again, in terms of development and coaching, no in terms of, hey, it's your fault. No. It's not their fault. It's our fault as a staff, and then goes down to the bottom of the things. But what can we do better to prepare these kids? How we can coach them better? I truly believe that loss against Loyola is just a setback for us. It's more about how we rebound back and how we get out of it than how much time we spend thinking about it. And, okay, let's break the game down. What we have done good, what we have done bad, how we improve, move on, get ready for Nebraska on Friday. And this group has been very, very good with adjustments, small things, small details. They have done a tremendous job of paying attention on the small details. And, hey, we just haven't done a good job on Sunday. We got to move on, get better, learn, grow from it. The growth is the key part. Growth from the loss. If we haven't learned nothing, it's not worth it losing. But if we have learned and if we got better out of it, hey, we just gotta pay attention more. And same for kids, same for us. It's the same process.
Yeah, and I think one of the things that's most exciting about this group is they really do like learning, and they're really committed to growing. And I think we've seen that from minute one of this season, is they're a team that loves to show up and train. And we almost have to pull them back sometimes from training, because that's how much they like growing, and that's how much they're committed to getting better. And so a setback, like a loss on a Sunday, I think we're going to see a team come out on Tuesday that's raring to go and ready to get better and be super committed to coming out on Friday and putting in a good performance. So I think from our perspective, I think that's pretty exciting.
I was speaking with Coach Szymanski from volleyball, as well as Coach Weichel presiding, just from recent stories. They said a lot of what they've seen this year is more bonding off the field, not just the training, but bonding off the field between players. How important is it for you as a coach to stress to be close with your teammates off the field, and how that will then affect their on-the-field performance and their performance in life as well?
Yeah, I think that there's got to be a healthy relationship and understanding, but it's more of a respect factor, and both ways. What they bring to our program as individuals and people. We talk a lot about being a better student, better person, and a better soccer player in their 4 years here, and the investment that's needed. But it's not just their investment; it's our investment in them. And I think specifically in the female side of athletics, it's they only care if they know you care. And so that's an investment that we have to have in them, and then conversely they invest in our program. So I think team bonding is a big deal, but I think that's I believe that's in a process. That's in the small little details. It's not that that we went on a weekend trip up north and we talked about leadership and bonding and bonfires. I think it's everyday occurrences. It's about treating each other as teammates and friends and with respect and finding moments when those things don't occur and discussing that. And because I think this team is very good with details and they do want to learn. And I think the stronger we can be as a program with regards to our camaraderie and our respect for one another and our commitment overall, the easier it's going to be able to take adverse conditions and, whether it be a loss, whether it be a setback with an injury or whatever it is, and be able to kind of move forward knowing that this is a group. It's not a group. It's not a bunch of individuals. And, that starts from the top. That starts with us, our coaching staff, and modeling that, and then goes down to the upperclassmen and hopefully transcends throughout the roster. So I think it's highly important. I think it's an everyday process. I don't believe it's about one event, and I think that you see that you mentioned volleyball, and volleyball. I think they talk about certain things every day, they're and so that when it's at the forefront of their brain and at the forefront of why they're doing what they're doing.
Yeah, I just think that those relationships is not just on the field, and it's not just during the training session or okay, now when training session is done, we kind of just walk away from each other and just never talk again until next day. And one thing that I think this group I really like about this group is that freshman, sophomore, junior or senior, doesn't matter who, or fifth year kid, doesn't matter who you are, is pretty even level. We everybody's heavy in. Everybody is very invested. I think we do have a good relationships across the board, and there is no, hey, freshman, you're just in charge of the equipment and a cones and the balls. It's not about that. This team it's more about serving to each other, and again, head coach. Coach Diani, he's the first guy who jumps in and picks up the soccer balls and picks up the cones, and that's how we kind of look at it on a daily basis. And like he mentioned about just modeling the way, and I think if we do that, if our captain does that, if our seniors do that, then I think we have a strong culture. And again, culture is not one and done. It's a revolving door. It's in and out, days in and days out, hours and hours and days and months and years. And so I think we are in a good path, and we are looking into some bright future for sure.
Nailed it.
Yeah. All right. Last question would be you just mentioned a good quote, which is revolving door for leaders. Do you think that's true? It's not just led by the coaching staff; it's led by someone who's taking initiative on the team, whether that's the captain or another senior member, or even someone who's a junior or sophomore.
I mean, it has to be. I think the best teams that I think any of us have ever been on have been. There's certainly a model that has to come from the coaching staff. There can't be a disconnect, but it's the best teams are led by, the players. There's an accountability. There's a lack of entitlement. I think it has to be led by the players. There's got to an ownership that's taken over at some point. That it's their experience, that is their program, that it's their team, and I think. Until you have that, there is a little bit of even more of a revolving door in the sense that you don't really know what you're going to get. There's a lack of consistency. But I think when you have older, specifically upperclassmen that are invested and take ownership over the good and the bad, then you have a pretty good culture that you can build with.
Sounds good.